working on 2, but we'll get there.
The dude.
Yeah, one dude.
One dude.
Fun question. Each of you, what was the last song you listened to on your Spotify or Pandora playlist?
Is there a way we can? Is there like a recent on our?
Can we?
Yeah, you can look it
No,
up.
no, I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie to you guys. I'm not ashamed.
What did we listen to on the way up? Psycho Stick. Yeah, Psycho Stick. We listened to the entire Do album on the way down here because it's freaking fantastic. Go buy that album. It is a trip. But yeah, Psycho Stick was my last one.
I recently listened to the new Rammstein album.
Oh my god, it's so
dude.
good.
Yeah,
It's really like that. Yeah, I loved it. The first song was sick.
Oh, Deutschland.
Yeah. it's
Oh,
so good.
yes, yeah.
That might have been actually the last one I listened to, or maybe it was.
I actually see them next month.
Oh,
I'm
really?
really looking forward to it. Yeah.
The last song I listened to, I think, is I don't know if you guys heard of the band One OK Rock, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I listened to their song. I'm obsessed with them. I saw them at a concert one time, and I was like fangirling, and I fainted. But
I think yeah. The last time I was listening to music was on the plane right here. The last one I remember from my what I was.
That
listening
playlist
to
is insane, by the
is,
way.
is Melt Banana was the last one that, and they're like a noise punk band, and they're really yeah. Did you know I like Melt Banana? Dude, oh god, they're weird. Don't listen to them. And Endless Sporadic. Like I like
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Awesome. Oreo, do you have any covers that you are planning on working on, or you got anything in the mix?
I'm working on something with Adriana. She's over there, and we're doing. I don't know. Can we reveal the song? We will. It's already revealed. We're doing a song called "Bad Apple," and it's an electro swing remix.
Is it Toho or Tuhu?
Toho.
Toho? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Toho.
Yeah, no, I know. People say it with like
Tuhu.
the two. I don't know. Tuhu. Boo-hoo.
All right. Are there any games? We're gonna say games, movies, or anime that are out that really catch your interest, that make you want to create or play or sing.
I'm really looking forward to Mario Maker 2. That's gonna be so fun. Yes. The last game that I was really into though was Tetris 99 and Puyo Puyo Tetris. Like those are my just I want to just play those until my fingers fall off. But yeah.
I'm not super like I'm definitely looking forward to Mario Maker 2, but I'm not. There's not too much that I'm looking forward to that really catch my eye. I'm really just trying to catch up. Like I'm playing Hollow Knight right now. I'm also playing Tetris 99 every once in a while. I'm watching Fruits Basket, the remake of that right now. It's really good. And yeah, I'm very inspired by all of those things. So yeah.
Yeah, I actually do the same, the catching up game.
Yeah.
Recently, started Resident Evil 2. It's pretty good, really good. And I'm really looking forward to Mario Maker 2, of course, and Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was coming out actually. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
I've been recently watching JoJo. Yeah. Yada yada does it. But a game I'm really looking forward to is an indie game called Amori, and I'm super excited for that. Yeah.
That is a beautiful game. Okay, let's see. Are there any secret musical related things that you are interested in, from musicals to Disney movies to cartoons?
I'm an uncultured swine. I just listen to video game music. I'm sorry.
That's included.
I like K-pop. A Lunistan.
I like J-pop.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I like ASMR.
Do you have any artists or bands that truly influence your music?
Akira Yamaoka and Trent from Nine Inch Nails. And Danny Elfman.
Yeah. Man.
Anna Managuchi, number one. Oh shoot, what's the name of that band? I take after his drumming pattern so well. I just cannot remember. RX Bandits, they're fantastic. And just about every video game composer, truthfully.
Yeah. Sevenfold, Lamb of God.
Lamb of God, dude.
Love Lamb
Whoa.
of God. Lady Gaga. Definitely. I'm not kidding. She's
good.
She's amazing. I love Rise Against, the punk band. Metalocalypse, like Death Clock. Brendan Small's work is unreasonably good. Yeah, Duncan Hill's Coffee. I just love like Go Into the Water by Death Clock was one of the first times that I really started feeling and understanding like taking power chords and actually like adding like chord qualities to it, you know, because like you're so used to when you're playing metal just playing these power chords big all the time, and then like it has these like really rich and full sounding chords, you know. So and then that's what started sending me down the music theory obsession and stuff like that.
For me, it's Ariana Grande. The Living Tomb. Everyone here, The Living Tombstone, and everyone here. And One OK Rock, and lastly, Toby Fox.
Yes.
Yep.
8-bit drummer, how quick can you make a beat?
How's that?
I was gonna see how long you can last it.
Oh, I mean, I could go all day, but I don't think that.
Yeah, we probably don't. Definitely not. Is there any advice you have for any up and coming musician YouTubers or Twitch performers?
Don't. This is something I talked about on the making music in 2019 panel. There's so many people these days with all the saturation of all different kind of artists and every single kind of niche, far and wide, as everyone sees somebody that's doing something that they feel like they can do, and they're doing it successfully. So they say the sentence to themselves, I can do that, and then they do it, and then they do it, and then they're not successful, and then they're frustrated. Why? I mean, they're successful. Well, it's because you didn't do anything different. So what I propose you ask yourself is, I can do that, but my spin on it would be, and then at least you're going to start from a place of a little bit more chance of being successful.
I fully agree with Jules, and also like it's really important to be like the first one. It's like comparing to with the you know who's the first one who was on the moon, the first man on the moon. Maybe the second one, but no one cares about the third one. And it's always important maybe to be either the first one or do it better than the first one.
For me, it's just do it. Just go for it. Yeah. Don't let your demotivation, like, unmotivation. I don't know, what's the word?
Don't let
hit
your
you.
dreams be dreams. Is that what you? I thought that's what you were gonna say. I agree.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Just do
Oreo.
This is my last question, and then we're going to open it up for Q&A. What is the favorite song you've covered or worked on so far?
Oh man, that's such a good question. Jules, you go first.
I think I was going back through my long years of YouTube, and I always thought that Jet Force Gemini was my favorite soundtrack, and because I remember having so much fun doing that medley back in 2010. And then I stumbled upon a medley I made way later, and realized that my favorite video game soundtrack, just based on how much fun I had with it, how much I still enjoy listening to it, is Snowboard Kids. So the Snowboard Kids soundtrack is probably my favorite. Snowboard Kids medley was probably my favorite.
I'm still thinking. Keep going.
I'm still thinking too.
Oh, for me, it's probably my very first original song, All Eyes on Me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I had so much fun making it with, again, Johnson. He helped with the instrumental. And another one of my favorite, actually, is going to be a few original songs that I'll be posting soon. And I'm going to be making my own album. Yay!
Yay. Good luck.
Thank you.
So the question was, what's our favorite? Or
What is the favorite song that you may have covered, created, or
Oh,
composed?
awesome! Yeah, I actually created one with two artists, the vocalist Charm and an animator called David Romero. We made together a really, really beautiful song called Tender Remains, and I like everything in it: the music, the vocals, the visuals, and I can listen to it on my own like every day, and I really, really like this.
Oh wait, I changed my mind. My favorite video I did was the one where I got kicked off Grant Kirkhope's yard. That one.
Whoa, this was amazing.
That one. Thank you. Sort of. He had stuff to do.
I think that my favorite stream, project, cover, whatever you want to call that, was the stream where I covered the entire Megalovania. Wow. The entire, it might as well be. The entire Undertale OST in one sitting. That was like my most fun thing that I've done, and that was actually one of the things that like helped the channel to grow the most as well. And it just has it just holds a really, really hardcore place in my heart. And it also influenced me and my wife in a way as well, because like we both really enjoyed the game. We connected over that game, and just doing that game doing that full cover while she was watching was just really, really important to me. So Undertale, I'm sure Undertale has affected just about everybody in this room in a positive way, or in a way. And no. Who is Megan? You know, Megan Lovania.
Yeah.
But no, it's just it's a beautiful soundtrack to a beautiful game, and it's probably my favorite project I've ever done.
Long elevator.
All right, we've got questions. Our runner is standing right in front of the microphone. Before we start, just want to be clear. We want to make sure everybody gets all the time to get in their questions. So make them clear and make them concise and make them quick.
Lightning round.
And be very close to the microphone so we can all hear you.
Like this.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. This is for Family Jewels. I know I first discovered your videos with your Persona 5 covers, so I was just wondering, since we're both big Persona fans, if you were interested in doing more songs from different Persona games, like from 4 or 5, or even 1 and 2.
You gotta play them first. That's my thing. Is like I put so much of the when I'm like arranging and playing it, I really center my head around my experience playing the game, and I haven't played any of the other ones. So like with 5, I'm really kind of putting myself in the place that I was when I was experiencing it. So that's very important for me. I hear 4 is essentially Scooby-Doo, and I love Scooby-Doo, so I'm going to give that a try. Very soon.
You're right.
Hell
and
yeah.
3 is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes! All right.
So
soon,
there you go.
Soon then.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
So I've been thinking about this for a long time, about becoming a cover artist, mostly for piano. But the thing is, I have this thing with my left arm where I can't really do 2 different things at the same time. And I'm sorry. Do you have any advice for that?
Have you looked into multi-tracking?
No, I have not.
So like if you get like a digital audio workstation, like even like GarageBand or something, you know, and you could make probably very interesting videos using different sounds and stuff with a keyboard, where you just can just do monophonic stuff, or chords with one hand and stuff, and you can make some really interesting arrangements just doing that. That would be my advice.
Nowadays, everything doesn't have to be done live or like normally. Like you can think outside the box and you can do anything you want to, man.
And I really like I also used always my disadvantage to my advantage. Maybe you can, with your advantage, be something original. Just try it. Like I still have like a really horrible internet connection. I have most of my videos are just stills with an image, and they work.
Yeah.
Just try out, and also just what Family Jules said with the multi-track thing. This works perfectly.
Yeah, I can't really play piano, so I've been lying to all of you guys. No, because I usually use FL Studio, which is a great program, and yeah.
Or I think I already have a name for a channel. You maybe this is your thing. Like this is the one-hand man, like or something like that. The one-hand man, piano man, or something like that. This doesn't exist.
I would say
right now.
I would say like give yourself a week and do the best thing that you can do in a week, and when it's over, stop and just upload whatever that is. Be okay with it if it sucks, because everyone sucks in the beginning, and it's fine. You grow and you learn from publishing something. So that the state that you're in is really one of the hardest states to deal with. We've all dealt with it. We've all dealt with that self-doubt of, what if the first thing I put out isn't my magnum opus, and then eventually you're like, wait a minute, that's not logical. Like, I'm just gonna put something out. So then once you do that, your next few decisions are gonna be so much clearer. So good luck.
Thank you very much.
You got this.
My first stream had no sound, so you can do it, okay? Just so you know.
As long as you have audio, that's good.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
Hey there. So earlier in the panel, 8-Bit Drummer said something about being obsessed with his own numbers and stuff. Well, say you're obsessed with somebody else's numbers. Like, there's an artist that I'm really obsessed with that I really love that's super underrated, and I get like really mad when looking at how they have like very few subscribers and like, well, they have a decent amount, but it's not like as nearly as much as it should be. So have you ever kind of experienced that where you feel like other artists are really underrated and that frustrates you, and how do you kind of get over that?
Oh God, yeah. Like I hear so much music. I get so many songs that are suggested to me from artists that have like 100 subs on YouTube, and it's like the best thing I've ever heard. Why hasn't anybody like known about this? And the way that you help those people out is let people know. And that's exactly what they're doing in my cast to show, like they're showing me a song that they enjoy. If you have something that you like sincerely enjoy, show it to other people. Like don't like, shove it in, down their throats or anything, but like just show people.
Yeah.
Share it on social media, share it like with friends and whatever. Just let other people know. And that's all you got to do, because your share could be the thing that pushes them higher. You know what I'm saying? It's all about having that open hand policy and being like, yo, check this out, check that out, do this, do that. Just it's cool like that. We're all in it together.
Well, since I have the opportunity now, you guys should check out Creo.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's a
That'll be
musician.
$100 for the advertisement.
He's a musician on YouTube. He's got, I think, 38 subscribers, 38,000 subscribers now. He's like
That's pretty
the
good.
he makes electronic music. He's the most unique, like, amazing artist I know.
What's his name again? How you spell it?
Creo, C-R-E-O.
I think
His most
yeah.
popular should be Dimension, with about 2.2 million views.
The thing I think to take away from it, I think, is that we usually forget that we have no control over what these platforms are doing, what the algorithms are doing.
Yeah.
We sometimes feel like it's like this naturally occurring thing that people get big, and it's not. It's all based on an algorithm. It's all based on just trends. It's all based on a whole lot of things that nobody has any control over. So, I think it's important to remember, like, we're on this rock revolving around a sun. Everything's just kind of like happening, and we have no control over it, and that's okay. Like, just because somebody's not popular now doesn't mean something's wrong or something's broken. It just means, it's just how it is.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
So-
Jules, thank you for finishing the Mega Man X stages, because that's kind of how I found you in the first place. And I'm like, yes, I just
I'm
saw
glad.
Launch Octopus.
I was afraid to cover that one because the bass is so crazy. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
And my question was, you were talking, all of you were kind of talking about kind of how to differentiate yourself from other people and kind of be seen. Is there anybody that any of you have seen recently that you feel hasn't broken out, or you really like what they're doing, that you'd like to shout out?
I almost don't want to, because there's so many of them. I wouldn't want to like forget somebody who I think deserves it. I feel like everyone deserves it, right? Like, everyone deserves a voice and to be heard and have their art out to at least somebody, and it usually is. I feel like especially in this world where like everything is numbers, and it seems like a high score in our brains where it's like, oh, this person has this many subscribers and this one is this, that means he's better or whatever, and it's just absolutely not the case. And I think people need to just not be complacent, but definitely always be grateful that we're in a time where everyone's art can be heard by people, big or small, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So that's just my 2 cents. Also, Artificial Fear needs to break out soon. He just released a new album.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay. By the virtue of its format, this question is kind of pointed at Jules, but I kind of want everyone's insight on this. What is the best musical scale, and why is it melodic minor?
The best musical scale is the chromatic scale, because you can play any song with it.
That's cheating.
Dude, I hit stuff with sticks. I don't know scales, man. I'm sorry.
That was kind of what I meant by the virtue of its format. It's kind of pointed at Jules.
The minor scale.
it's a very powerful scale. Usually people opt for harmonic minor, but there's some feelings that you can
What's
only
that?
get with natural. Music theory panel tomorrow at 1.
My mind is on fire.
I'm still thinking about the word. It was like the between the chromatic ones. Maybe you know the word.
The quarter tones?
Yeah, the quarter tones.
Yeah.
They are really, really interesting. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
like make it like a little bit detuned. It's really nice. It's like swinging around. I really like it when it's. Yeah, I like this.
I need to learn music theory.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hey.
As a fellow musician, like I do, the thing is, I want to get like be like have like I want to put my music out on YouTube, and I have like the whole YouTube image around going on. Thing is, I do kind of experimental, like kind of as Family Jewel said, like noisy punk music.
Yes.
Not like Melt Banana, but like something like Jesus and the Mary Chain,
Okay.
like something like that. How would you go about How would you go about advertising that to somebody? Say like the YouTube crowd's usually not connected to that sort of experimental like music.
Of course they are. I would say there's absolutely a huge niche looking for that. You know, or not even niche. There's a huge group like looking for exactly that kind of music. The trick is figuring out a hook. You know, like almost like a one sentence thing that kind of separates you from it. Like, you know, it's a rhythm game, but you're dungeon crawling. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Like where you can very easily like spark this like, oh, interesting. You know, like maybe mix two things together that hasn't been done before, like noise punk, but it's also got blast beats.
I had like an idea of basically like 20 like like Playboy Cardi like 808s, but like feedbacky guitars over it.
Sure.
I'm a sell it to Fantano.
Yeah, lean into it, man, and be proud of it,
Okay.
and push it.
So something else to think about is if you're wanting to stand out, branding is super
Yeah.
important. Be the name that somebody thinks about whenever they think about something. You know what I'm saying? Like a cookie, you think of Oreo. You know what I'm saying? But like, for example, the 8-bit drummer, I like gaming and I like drumming. And if somebody thinks of drumming on Twitch, they usually think of that name. But it also is specific enough and it stands out enough to where it is unique. It's branding 101. I used to run a small business in my hometown. I read a lot of branding books. That is like the number one thing, is make sure you are what people think about when they think about a certain thing. So crazy funk with 808s, that's what they want to think about. That's what you want them to think about is your name whenever they think about that.
I think he low-key roasted my name.
No.
Oh, it was high key Oreo.
Dude, Oreos are good though.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So a roasted compliment. I'm sorry.
But
Thank you so much, man. Good
you're
luck.
welcome.
Good luck with everything.
Yeah, dude.
Hi, everybody. This question is for everybody. How do you cope having music of your own and wanting to hear that maybe more than maybe the audience that is coming out to hear the covers? And, you know, are covers a good way to bring more awareness to your channel when you know you want people to hear your original music more? Is that something that I can use as a tool to bring that out?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, honestly, like I like covering music as much as I like writing it. So that's kind of just like a personal thing for me, where like I get a lot of the same value out of both things. But that's just kind of, I think that's maybe personal to me.
I don't have any original music of my own, which I want to start making it. But covers have been, I mean, they're literally my bread and butter. But I think what you want to do is you want to make it a bit more, just instead of just doing, hey, I'm doing a cover that everybody else has done. Make something special about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I did the cover live on Twitch or something like that, or like Jules has a very, very specific sound to like her tone of his guitar. Toxic X Eternity is another really good boy in the yeah, good boy.
He's a good boy.
He has a very specific tone, and like he does covers, but he stands out because of his tone and because of his look. He's a very, very tall metal man, but he's super, super kind. You know what I'm saying? Like Jack is good, but covers are super good, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I'd say I was always afraid of being pigeonholed as a cover guy, you know, but then I realized that I just love it, so I don't really care. But I think it's just important to always kind of take stock in what you're doing, and if it's what you want to do, and if it's something that you like. I would say that if you want to do original music, throw some covers in every once in a while, but make the primary focus of your channel or whatever your original music. If you foresee yourself enjoying covers, then maybe do half and half. That's kind of would be my advice.
What I can add to that is don't you don't need to follow all these trends because everybody follows these trends, and the noise is so big and it's too hard to get in there, to be seen. Pick more like the niche ones. Maybe make a cover from an indie game or something that will also some people look up. That's really important too. Not just only the trends and the big stuff. Look into the stuff you like. There's probably hundreds or thousands, even people still that they like it too. It doesn't need to be trending or something, but you will still find maybe a niche and your fan base.
I recommend making maybe you could try making an original song for a game or anime or something. No one's ever done an original song for an anime. Did I just give an idea? Yeah. Oh, really? Oh. Okay, I'll check him out.
I hope that helps. Does that help you?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Sweet. All right, cool.
Appreciate it.
Dude, thank you.
Hey guys.
Hey.
So we all know that Undertale had such a huge impact on the music industry in general, and I mean, but it's just going through all the other indie games who were in the past and now. I don't think any of them has ever come close to what Undertale's achieved as far as music is concerned. Is why it's so popular. But I'm curious from your perspective, why is it so popular? What makes it so unique and yet so amazing at the same time?
It stands out and is part of the experience, and I think that's actually a very important part of why I see a lot of people covering stuff from games that are popular, but the music's not really, when you hear Spider Dance, that sticks out, and that song, or Papyrus's theme, Bone Trials and stuff, that sticks out. That's hummable. It's part of the experience. But then you have other games that the music isn't necessarily, it's great, but it's not what people are humming or remember, and so then people cover it and they're like, why isn't this blowing up and getting millions of views, So, and I think that might be why. I think the fact that the music, it had kind of such a center stage, maybe inadvertently, that that's what made it stand out like it did.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys.
You guys can kick me off if I'm hogging all these answers.
So it's a lot less serious answer or question than everyone else's. But I wanted to ask if your doorbell is still All Star by Smash Mouth.
It right now is All Star by Smash Mouth.
And then what provoked you to open up the doorbell?
It wasn't me. It was actually my roommate Corey. He was alone in our house for some reason. I think we were all away for a holiday or something, and Corey was just, I guess, pulling things off walls as he does, and he found out that our doorbell can be programmed, and he chose to tell us that 5 months later, and we're like, we're a house of musicians, and you're telling us now? So yeah, that's how we found out.
My boy's a bad influence on you.
He is a horrible influence on us.
It changed it to.
Yeah, I could, man. I've got so many ideas.
You should get Corey to do Corey in the house
on
the doorbell.
He would love that. Make sure you tweet that at him. He will. Right. He will absolutely block you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi. Is this good? Okay. This might be a bit of a weird question, but what do you think the total cost of all the technology and instruments you might use to produce your music would be?
Can go really cheap these days, I think.
Yeah.
It depends what you need. If you also want a camera, then it gets a little bit, maybe. Wait, a webcam, a good webcam, you can get about $100, right?
Yeah, I mean, I stream with a C920, $79 on Amazon or $59 if it's on sale, and I stream with that for 3 years. I finally upgraded to something better because I wanted to put something more into it, but C920 works just fine. If you're thinking about streaming or something like that, it depends on what you're wanting to do with the music. If you're wanting to perform live from your house, then you'll need that type of equipment. If you want to do vocal covers, you'll need a good microphone with pop filter or whatever. And it's really easy to do research nowadays. There are great websites where you could pick up all the stuff you need. Sweetwater, even Amazon. Everything is God, Google's so good.
Was your question specifically what are our equipment costs?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, I mean, I think these guys make an excellent point as a preface, because I think at this point, since we've made our livings doing this and stuff, that we've upgraded over a very long amount of time. I mean, certainly thousands of dollars of equipment.
And I've got a lot of guitars.
Yeah, I do have a lot of guitars. Luckily, I get a nice artist price from Schechter and Ernie Ball for pushing all of the guitars out to everybody. But it's still very, very expensive. But I started with, I borrowed my bassist's bass, so that I can play bass in my GoldenEye medley. And I had one guitar. I had Mixcraft, it was like a trial version of Mixcraft, a laptop that I had for my job, and my iPhone. That's all I had, and I made my first video with that. I think that has like 100,000 views now. I mean, it's like you don't need all of this equipment. It makes it easier, and sometimes it makes it harder. Like I remember for the longest time I wanted an Axe Effects. Every guitarist wants the Axe Effects. And it's like $2,500. And I just remember I was like, man, when I get the Axe Effects, my tone is going to be perfect. And oh my God, it was not. Because I didn't know how to use it, And it's easy to kind of just feel like if I spend all this money on something, it's just going to fix it. And it's just going to, I have the thing that Tosin Abasi has, and I'm going to sound like Tosin. It's like, it doesn't work that way. Usually, I could use Mixcraft way better than I could use Cubase because I was just so used to it. It doesn't matter that it was I won't say worse, but it had its problems. But you know what I mean? So you're gonna be better on something that's worse that you understand than something that's new that you have no idea. If that makes sense.
This is it. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
I stole my brother's microphone, so.
Hell yeah. Theft. It's how you do YouTube.
Always good for it. Nice.
Go to a Best Buy and steal the microphone.
Whoa, no, we don't condone that.
Don't do that. That's all.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, totally. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man.
All right, so I had a question about covers with making your own original music. With making so much covers, there's so much niches and so much other covers out there. It's kind of hard to find your own voice and your own sound in those covers. So would you recommend doing covers first and going into original music? Because I actually have a YouTube channel myself, and I do a lot of covers. I just begin with my guitar playing to the song, and I actually have one where I'm just playing all the instruments, and it kind of sounds bad. But honestly, I was just trying to find my own sound out of doing covers. So would you recommend just making your own original music at that point?
I would say do whatever you're having fun doing.
Okay.
Whether that's covers, whether that is original music. If you're having fun, it's going starting off everybody starts off the same way. We're all terrible, I was terrible at drumming whenever I first started, but that's why practice is so important. That's why having a good time is so important with it. And you do don't worry too much about what YouTube wants or what even though you have to kind of play the game at times, but just you do you.
Well, it depends on what you want too. You have to know what you want. If you want a video to get millions and millions of views, then be my guest, play the game. But if you're gonna be happier, if you're gonna be happy, which you can, you don't million views does not mean happy. It
Right.
It simply doesn't. And it can, but we want lasting happiness, right? And YouTube algorithm's not gonna give us that. So figure out what gives you that and go for that.
Okay. And also, I did want to ask, so with playing with a band versus playing by yourself, also when playing by myself, I just kind of feel like there's no chemistry in the sound of it. When I'm playing with a band, it's more chemistry-wise, but of course bands don't really last too long. As they're oh, you're not here at this amount of time, and then somebody pisses off somebody else.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So would you recommend just kind of just still keep going at it with just you, or just still playing with a band, or just kind of do both?
I think both has pros and cons.
Okay.
Being in a band, you get that chemistry, you get your brewskis with your boys, and you get that awesome time. But man, when you do things yourself, things tend to get done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fewer delays.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going on 4 minutes, so lightning round.
You mentioned a lot about video games and video game soundtracks. I was wondering if you have any favorite rhythm games and rhythm game soundtracks, and also any thoughts on the upcoming Cadence of Hyrule.
Dance Dance Revolution.
Dance Dance Revolution.
And Cadence of Hyrule looks pretty cool.
Taika no Tatsujin.
Yeah.
Rhythm Heaven.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, Rhythm Heaven.
Yeah. Duh.
I also I really like Guitar Hero too.
Yeah.
That's where I started was Guitar Hero.
Thank you so much.
Hello. I'd just like to assume I have I already have some material already out there. Want to know how would you guys feel about signing up with ASCAP or BMI and dropping your music into the pool to be used for in TV and film?
It depends on licensing. When we're working with covers, like a lot of the time, like to be able to do something, we would have to have control of the mechanical and sync licensing and stuff.
No
like
covers.
That. No covers. So yeah, that would have to be originals, you know, and like that would be interesting. It'd be a whole other project. You know, a lot of us have so many projects going on that like, sure, it'd be nice, but do we have time to do it?
I'll try it and let you know.
Cool.
Hello.
What's up?
My question is more about consistency. I have had equipment, and then I have basically not a lot of time because I teach during the morning, the afternoon, and then in the evening and the late night, I play with some orchestras most of the time. Then I get home, it's like, it's time to strip. Oh, it's midnight. Never mind. What do you do if you have a lot of stuff going on and you just know you had to get out some stuff after a certain amount of time, and with a short amount of time at that?
Whenever I first started, I was running a business, and I had to set a schedule where I would, you know, I had to start streaming at 4:30. I want to change that now, but I can't because that's just the consistency, you know. But I started at 4:30 because of the fact that I worked in the morning and everything like that. So it's sustainability. What are you going to be able to do with your time? Over time, if that makes sense. Like if you're like working 10 hours a day and you want to stream 4 hours more, that's not sustainable. But what you can do is you can set up times where you know you're not going to be doing something else, and you can set that time aside for streaming or making music. I remember you from MagFest, by the way, and I hope that your stream is going very well.
It was actually a couple of MomoCons.
Yeah, MomoCon. Sorry, it was
a few years ago.
Yeah,
I made a MagFest, really?
Yeah. Sorry, they all meld together.
Yeah,
but,
that's fine.
But yeah, just if you can find time, that's cool. If you can't, that's okay as well. Just finding that
yeah, I'd say really, like, I think it's really important to say this. You might just not have time to do it, and that's fine. You know, because if you're gonna push yourself and not be healthy, that's not good.
No.
So either it works right now, or the other thing needs to take a little bit of time off. You know what I mean? There it goes. There goes my voice. It's been a long con. No, it's very important not to push yourself. Like if it's like, oh my God, it's midnight and I need to sleep. It's like you don't have time for it then. So just good luck and keep going because things might change. Everything changes.
You got this.
Oh no, I was just like, yeah, you got this.
Yeah, you got this. Good luck, man.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you all.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
My question is for Oreo.
Yeah.
How
Finally.
much fun?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How much fun was it making Brokey forever?
Not fun. No, it was so much fun because I did Sans and I literally like took my voice down an octave, so I sounded like this. And it was awesome. Yeah, it was so much fun. And Genuine over here, he voiced Yuri, and he sounded hilarious. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
It's a tall microphone. Sorry.
Thanks, Eric.
I'm too small.
We'll get it eventually. It's all good. There we go. Thanks, Eric.
Hi. My question, well, first, Oreo, thank you for doing a Bad Apple cover. That's one of my favorite songs. My question is, do you sometimes express your feelings in your songs?
Oh, all the time. All the time. Like, especially for my Undertale covers, I was like pouring my heart onto it, like do 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 do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much for coming. And keep in mind that we still got another day of MomoCon, so you still have another chance to come to a panel,
Yes.
ask your questions, meet them.
Music Theory 101 Select Mode is a panel I'm doing with Insane in the Rain Music over there, Sab Irene, and Artificial Fear over here. We are going to teach you all about modes. And I know you guys have been scared to learn modes, but we're going to teach you using video game examples. So that's at 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much. Let's give a round of
Thank
applause for our
you.
guests.
Good luck with all of your channels.